Hello people, I'm the Old Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be reviewing Deathstroke Rebirth issue number 1. I've been highly anticipating this book ever since it was first announced, when they did the whole big event announcing all the Rebirth books, and I was so happy that Deathstroke was still going to have his own series because I was a little worried considering the last series sucked so bad, didn't sell so well. I was worried that he was not going to get a series in Rebirth, but thankfully he did, and here we are. So, obviously, spoiler alert for this because I'm going to be talking all about the story of what goes on in this book, so there's your warning. Anyways, let's talk about this. So the story is a mix of modern day Deathstroke doing his thing, doing his whole mercenary thing, and then flashbacks of Slade and his sons, Joseph Wilson and Grant Wilson. So I wasn't a big fan of the flashbacks. I don't like the way they painted Slade and his kids in that relationship because Slade was never going to win Best Dad of the Year at all, but he wasn't this bad of a father. Like in this, he threatens to beat his kid, like he's about to beat his kid, and then he also leaves his kid in the woods by himself. And it's just, yeah, this is, like, Stranded on purpose leaves him in the woods by himself, stranded there, and it's just, yeah, Deathstroke wouldn't have done that, like, Slade, that I know, previous to Marv Wolfman original, Slade Wilson would not have done that. In fact, like, Grant Wilson hates Slade because of how bad of a father he is. And, like, I remember in the old Deathstroke comics, Adeline Kane, who was Deathstroke's ex-wife, talked about how basically each of them had their own kid. Grant Wilson was Slade's son, and Joseph was Adeline's son, because Grant Wilson was the athletic one, the one that wanted to be just like Deathstroke the Terminator. He idolized him. He didn't know Deathstroke and Slade were one the same, but he idolized him, and he was the athletic one. He was into, like, everything that Slade was into, and so, that was his kid, and then Joe was more like Addie, and so, yeah, they each sort of had their own kid there. And in this, Grant Wilson just absolutely hates him, and then Joseph just seems afraid and kind of goes along with him. It's like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of how that works, especially because it affects the whole Grant Wilson death, because if they completely hate each other, that changes that whole dynamic about when Grant Wilson dies, and I'm just not a big fan of that. It's just stupid, and there was no need for a change there. Like, it's fine. Like, well, who had the idea? Well, I don't know why Christopher Priest had the idea. What if what if Slade Wilson was a worse father than he already is? That would be different. It's like, why? It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, the modern day plot is very interesting, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. Basically, Deathstroke's working for this guy. This guy says, hey, can you go kill this person for me? He's like, okay, I'll go do it. And when he's going to go do it, he gets transported by this guy's men, and the men are like, please don't kill us. And Deathstroke's just like, what? And then they're just like, well, you see, no one's supposed to know about this, so you're going to have to kill us after you kill that dude, so rip us. And Deathstroke's just like, okay, you guys, the second you put that uniform on, you killed your sons. Because they're like, we have sons, we have kids. And he's like, the second you put that uniform on, you killed your sons. And it's like, ew, that's pretty intense. But anyways, Deathstroke goes in to kill the target, and it turns out it is Clock King. Clock King's like, give me your word you won't kill me, and I'll give you some information. And then Deathstroke's like, no, I already gave my word. And Clock King's like, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna die anyways. Why don't you just tell me you're not gonna kill me, and I'll give you some information about a loved one. And then Deathstroke's just like, make me believe you. And he says, Kenilworth. It's like, what is Kenilworth? And so Deathstroke runs out of the place because, his word is his bond and everything. So it's like, ooh, what's he going to do here? Well, at least pre-New 2 Deathstroke, his word was his bond. New 2 Deathstroke kind of does whatever with whatever, like just whatever he wants to do. It's not really his word is his bond at all. Anyways, he goes outside, and to those two guys he said he was going to kill later, that they're just sitting there, and he's like, hey, you two, give me all the money in your pockets. He takes the money. He's like, this is a contract. You have hired me to protect your families from Jizaki, which is the name of the dude that hired Deathstroke in the first place. And so then he's like, either kill me or gear up. I like that. I thought it was interesting because it's sort of a loophole in Deathstroke. Like, it's not Deathstroke just blatantly being like, oh, this guy gave me information, guess I'm just going to give up on my word. It's like, no, he got a better contract. It's not that bad. So, it's not as bad as it could have been. So, anyways, next we see Deathstroke, and these guys are just driving by. They're going through, and they're like, hey, we killed Deathstroke the Terminator, into the enemy camp. And he's like, oh, wow, you killed Deathstroke. And they're like, just let us pass. And the dude's like, why should we let you in? The guy from the enemy camp. They say Kenilworth. And it's like, what the heck is Kenilworth? So anyways, we see Deathstroke. Oh, magically, he's not dead. He just jumps up, kills a bunch of people, and then goes in there. And it turns out it's Wintergreen. And yes, Wintergreen was held captive there, and it's the original Wintergreen, Pre-New 52 looking wintergreen. I'm so happy. I really hope they nail the characterization of wintergreen, because wintergreen 52 was just awful. Nothing like the wintergreen I knew from the Pre-New 52. So yeah, hopefully this guy's a lot more like Pre-New 52 wintergreen, and I'm really happy that he's back. And yeah, this issue was pretty cool. The art is good, not amazing, but not bad. It's good. And they explain the fact that why Deathstroke's hair is back to normal, sort of in like just one little throwaway line. Deathstroke's talking to the guy that hired him, and he's like, glad that black hair voodoo has worn off. And it's just like, okay, that's it. There's no more need explanation. Deathstroke's suit looks pretty cool. I liked it. It doesn't have the white sleeve that we saw before that I was really worried about, but that'll probably be brought in to future issues. But yeah, the suit looked pretty cool. This sort of reminded me of Chuck Dixon G.I. Joe book, and I mean that in a good way because I really like those books. And yeah, it's just pretty cool. I like it. I hope it continues with this theme. I'm excited to see how Deathstroke gets him out of that camp, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what happens next. It's pretty good. It's off to a good start. Nothing amazing, but it's off to a good start, and I'm happy. Finally, a good Deathstroke issue. I haven't read a good before the Deathstroke Annual number 2 is pretty good, but prior to Deathstroke Annual number 2 in this book, there hadn't been good Deathstroke issues for like ever. Like it had been like 20 issues or something like that since we had actually had a good solid Deathstroke issue. So yeah, really happy about that we finally got another good Deathstroke issue. So yeah, if you guys read this issue, please let me know in the comments below what you think of it, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.